So the view of oneness is also generic.
Okay, now, because of what you said, I want to come to mommy now, but I want us to be clear about something. So, if I get you correctly,
Okay, got me.
where there is consent,
Where there's consent of the parents.
already,
Don't let us give it religious
marriage
coloration.
is already
Marriage
in
has
existence.
taken place.
So if sex takes place in that situation,
No, let me
it
tell
should
you.
not be
Good. Let me give
wrong.
it to you. Which church did Adam conduct his wedding?
definitely not.
The wedding at Cana was not done in the church.
Was
It
ceremonial.
was a societal wedding. The true consent of the parents is what cause about what? Is what bring about marriage. Nothing more, nothing else, and nothing less.
So if the consent is secured,
If the consent of the parents is secured, okay, what if they impregnated each other? Would they say they are not what? They are not husband and wife again?
great. Okay, mommy will have to respond to
truly.
this. All right, ma.
Oh, it is beautiful. Now, it is very needful for us to know that the moment a lady gives her consent to the man, and they agree that in future we are going to get married, what is taking place now is what we call courtship. In other words, they are preparing, it's a period when they understand one another, when they know the do's and don'ts of one another to a good extent. There is no way that they can know themselves inside out until they get into the marriage proper. But what we call marriage, traditionally, culturally, is the consent of the parents of the groom and parents of the bride coming together and sealing it. When that one is done, sincerely, they are married traditionally. Do you get it? But with the introduction of the English culture to our marriages, that is why now there is no long distance between. It might be a day, just a day before. It can even happen in the morning, and later they have the wedding the same day. But the consent of the parents and the payment of dowry, that is actually the wedding.
Okay.
At that point, it is expected, it is assumed that they are a couple.
All right. I've seen a pastor because I would like her to make this as practical as possible.
Yes.
There was a time when I was in school.
Please don't say pastor, just say somebody.
Okay.
Yes.
It's all good and well, but that's the reality. Actually, I said pastor because she started from a religious angle.
Okay.
And I want this to be clear.
Okay.
Now the case here is this, because it was saying that once there is dowry has been paid and there is consent from the parents, we have a marriage in effect.
They have done the engagement openly, bringing the two families together. Yes.
Now, this situation happened with a pastor.
Okay.
Now, this individual, I was in school then, in university. Okay. So one of us got married. Okay, but it was a court wedding.
Okay.
Traditional rites were already done. And I remember him coming to the church with the lady, the wife now, and the pastor saw him. He was like, why are you holding her? He was holding her hand. Why are you holding her? You're not married yet. Because there's no church, wedding.
That's an error.
It's an error. But for the majority of people, they don't look at it that way. It's like, okay, the traditional thing is pushed to the back burner, and the main thing is supposed to be the church thing or the nikah.
I thank God for this program.
No.
I thank God it's an high hope now.
Okay.
What they do there is what we call holy solemnization.
Yes.
In churches.
In churches.
What does that mean? Because a big word.
No.
Okay, but nobody really understands what it means.
They solemnize it. Marriage has taken place long time ago when they did their engagement.
So it's sort of confirmation?
Even no pastor has the right to join a couple because he's not their father. That is why you will see in a civilized church, in the church of the elite, the pastor will say, who is giving this person to marriage? And when the father comes out, the father will hold the hand of the daughter and hand over to what? To the bride, to the bridegroom, and the man of God will put his hand like this and solemnize it. But back then, those days, the pastor will say, we join you together. Pastor does not have the power to join anybody. And the best wedding ever done, ever conducted, is the wedding, they pay the dowry, and there is consent, mutual agreement, consensus had it there, meeting of mind, of purpose and intention between the what? The parents. Immediately they do it, whether they go to court, whether they go to church, it does not make any difference.
Please don't let us lose our focus. sex in courtship,
Of
to
course,
do
it's
or
fo-
not
it's
to
the
do,
discussion.
It's part of
the
it.
focus.
Mhm.
And I love the word of God that says you will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And I pray many youth will be set at liberty.
Yes.
Many youth sell their virginity just for Valentine's Day. You know, they destroy their virginity on that. I am saying that until the consent of marriage is given by the families, they have no right, you know, to see one another's nakedness and have sex together.
Now,
That
I have
one
a
has been
question.
established.
What if the what really makes the marriage or valid is the consent of the parents?
Of the parents.
What is the place of the consent of the couple? I ask that because in so many instances in our climb, we find that there are so many abuses.
That is it.
Perpetrated just because the consent of the parents is what counts.
Okay. Do you want me to speak on point of
Let-
law?
Okay, let me just-
Let me answer,
let
then
us start
you
first, and
you
then
respond
you
to
come.
it.
Okay,
Mommy, go ahead.
Let me say that that is why marriage is for mature people. The day you give consent of belonging to one another, I will marry you, you will marry me. The day that consent is given, it is expected that you sit down and you put the standards that you will operate, then, you know, the regulations or laws that you will follow during your courtship, so that it is normal when two people are in love, opposite sex,